Okay, now in doing Doomsday versus the Marvel Universe, somebody mentioned I'm going to do the Avengers. The problem with that is, depending on the team that you pick, you either have Thor or the Sentry. And I think putting somebody who can kind of take Doomsday by themselves and then throwing more people with it is kind of overkill. Like, I'll be kind of, I think the Justice League should pretty easily be able to beat Doomsday. I think Superman and Wonder Woman, or Superman and Captain Marvel, or Superman and Martian Manhunter. If you take Superman and compare him with almost any other hero, except for like Batman. I don't know how well Batman's going to be in a fight against Doomsday, but if you take Superman, who can kind of beat Doomsday or come really close to it, and pair him with almost anybody else, he should get away. So I decided to go with the West Coast Avengers, because normally they're looked at kind of like the Avengers B team. You know, traditionally they had members like U.S. Agent, who was kind of like the B version of Captain America, War Machine, the B version of Iron Man. So it never seemed like it was a team that was really that, you know, super impressive. So I'll go with that version of the Avengers. And then I began to actually do some background reading. So this West Coast Avengers team is going to be Hawkeye, Mockingbird, Vision, Wonder Man, Tigra, Henry Pym, and War Machine. Why did I pick 7? Well, I could have went a little bit farther. I could have thrown in like U.S. Agent or Circe, but they really weren't like some of the founding members. So I'll go with founding members to try to keep it a little bit more sane. Because if I were to go with, well, the team is, you know, Vision, Wonder Man, Circe, War Machine, those guys alone. Circe was an external, so essentially like another immortal and a powerhouse. You know, she was able to stand up against Exodus during Blood Tide, which is Exodus's huge storyline. So I'm pretty sure her and some other people could probably handle Doomsday. So we'll go through the characters real quick. Again, this is Death of Superman Doomsday. Not Hunter Prey Doomsday, not every move he gets hit with he develops a counter for right away. This is the one who killed Superman. Okay. Hawkeye and Mockingbird are both kind of street lethal characters. However, if you are a member of the Avengers and Steve Rogers was part of the Avengers, you were trained by him. So every single person who's been an Avenger essentially has had some form of hand-to-hand combat training with Captain America. Justice League. See if Batman will teach most of you guys how to fight. Think about Superman's power set. Now give him some of Batman's fight training. Would he ever be killed? Now picture somebody like Vision, who is kind of equivalent like a Martian Manhunter. Now picture him with the Captain America level of fighting. Wonder Man, who, when I was reading some of the background on him, he's like a living ionic energy. He's living ionic energy, with a strength that falls somewhere between Thor and Sentry. Somewhere between Thor and Sentry. He requires no food, nothing. He essentially is a living condensed energy field, who for the most part couldn't fly. But he's got like the invulnerability, doesn't require any food. That's ridiculous. I didn't know he was that powerful. Tigra, you know, Tigra is kind of your like enhanced cat person, for lack of better terminology. So she's got, you know, enhanced speed, enhanced strength. Her claws can cut through steel. You know, so decent against most people, but probably not very impressive against, you know, Doomsday. Henry Pym. Okay, you have a guy who can shrink and fly or become really huge. That's probably going to help out against a creature like Doomsday, who in this scenario can't really fly. So essentially you could probably pick him up, have him lose leverage, and then probably throw him a great distance, potentially. And then War Machine. Technically, the founding member was Iron Man, James Rhodes in Tony Stark style armor, but I would say War Machine so that way people don't get any sort of confused. And War Machine normally was a less sleeker version of Iron Man, a little bit bulkier, but primarily with normally heavier weapons. Less flashy show, and more, I'm going to blow a soup can sized hole through your chest. So, as always, we've got the 7 criteria. Intelligence, fighting ability, strength, speed, durability, invulnerability, and energy projection. Go first, intelligence. This is the Doomsday who could barely save Metropolis. Versus a team that's helmed by Hawkeye, who has had lots of time with Captain America, who's probably one of the world's best strategists. And this whole team has had strategy sessions with Captain America, as well as a phenomenal scientist in Henry Pym. So intelligence, edge, West Coast Avengers. Fighting ability, they've all been trained by Captain frickin' America. Avengers, West Coast Avengers. Strength. You know, at first I was thinking this is Doomsday all the way, but with Wonder Man falling somewhere between Thor, who I had Thor losing strength to Doomsday barely, and I had Sentry winning strength against Doomsday. So Wonder Man can probably hold his own against Doomsday in a strength competition. Then you throw in Vision. Okay, you know what? Vision, again, a ridiculously powerful guy. So you've got two fairly heavy hitters in close. And plus, War Machine taking a Tony Stark, sort of set of armor, he's going to have some sort of super strength there too. So I have a strength advantage, ironically, for the West Coast Avengers. Which is weird, you're probably thinking, but wait a minute. Hawkeye, Mockingbird, and Tigra, not really strong. Yeah, but Pym can become a giant. That's going to give him a bit of a strength advantage. War Machine. He's not a dude in a suit. He's a dude in a suit made by Tony Stark that's been enhanced by, like, the U.S. military. Vision, who has got some super strength to him, as well as ability to adjust his density to make himself even stronger. And Wonder Man, who falls somewhere between Thor and Sentry in overall strength. Speed. You know, on this team, there are no speedsters. So speed, Doomsday. So to keep you track at home, intelligence, fighting ability, strength versus speed. Durability. I'll be completely and totally honest. While you've got Hawkeye can take one punch and he's dead. Same with Mockingbird. Same with Tigra. Henry Pym can probably maybe take one or two punches before he's done. War Machine can probably take a bit of a beating, but not a substantial beating. Vision and Wonder Man can both take a beating. I don't think they can take a beating and recover anywhere near as fast as Doomsday can. So I'm gonna give durability to Doomsday. You pretty much have, 5 humans or 5 human-like people in an energy field and a robot. You can still damage the robot. And the robot will take time to repair, but against Doomsday, he's got better healing abilities than the majority of that team. Invulnerability. Again, with this one, it comes down to how much damage can War Machine take before his system shut down. How much damage can Wonder Man take? I'm pretty sure he can probably take a pretty decent-sized beating, but we're looking at somebody who put down Superman. Wonder Man can probably take a ridiculous, beat down, but I think Doomsday can probably take a little bit more than Wonder Man can. Vision. Vision is going to primarily try to do his, change in density and intangibility to try to make sure he doesn't get hit that much. But Vision can be torn apart. So, if this fight goes into a straight hand-to-hand for a long period of time, the invulnerability edge is going to go eventually to Doomsday. And then finally, energy projection. This one, if Doomsday had any distance ability, he'd probably be pretty lethal in this scenario. Pym, even when he goes to Yellow Jacket, his energy projection is kind of weak. And Giant Man, no energy projection. Tigra, nothing for distance. Mockingbird, she's kind of like a bow fighter. Hawkeye. Hawkeye's energy is about as productive as somebody say like, Green Arrow. Unless he's got some sort of trick arrow, and I removed Deus Ex Machinas from this. He doesn't have, what's this? It's the ultimate nullifier arrow. I shoot it at something and it ceases to exist. No, I don't want that. But he's got some distance game to him, and that's the bulk of what he's got is really good aiming. And probably explosive arrows, and things that can probably be used like explosive and gas arrows. So probably nothing that can really, really damage Doomsday at distance. Vision. Vision can produce solar energy beams, and can hit some pretty decent intensity, so he kind of has, like, heat vision. Okay, that's one guy who's got it. Wonder Man has at time had an energy projection that's an ionic blast. Sometimes. He doesn't use it a lot though. So far you've got essentially heat vision and two people who kind of do things. And then you've got War Machine. War Machine essentially is distance fighting. Period. So you're looking at essentially someone who's probably going to have something close to like a mini tactical nuke on him, as well as some repulsor ray technology, so you got concussive force blasts. So should have easily enough sort of things to keep Doomsday kind of off balance at a distance, while at the same time, you know, Vision can be doing his thing, and Hawkeye can probably be running through a quiver full of arrows. So energy projection, while not super impressive, you know, as opposed to a team like the X-Men, I do give the edge to West Coast Avengers. So ironically, that means West Coast Avengers could put down Doomsday. I don't picture that many of them surviving. I picture it probably coming down to War Machine, Vision, and Wonder Man being the only three survivors. However, they would survive, and more than likely, Doomsday will be down for the count.